Hello, everyone. It's Deborah Clark. Happy you can join us here today for our live Q&A for Wednesday, May 6th for our Career Success class. So this is number 2. You've got a recording for the first class, and I'm happy to be here with you again today. So what I'd like you to do, we're a few minutes ahead of schedule. We'll be starting the live class in about 4 minutes time, but if you have any questions that you would like to ask me, you can go ahead and place them in the chat box. You can also let me know, what are some of the career issues? What are some of the career issues that you're dealing with right now when it comes to making your next move in your career? What are some of the things that are concerns for you that I might be able to help answer? I'm also interested in hearing from any of you that are already started the Key Success Factors for Graduates program. Let me know what stage of the program you're at, which playlist you're in, that kind of thing as well. I'm really looking forward to chatting with you. We'll be back online live here in about 3 minutes. We'll talk to you then. It's Deborah Clark. I'm very happy to have you join me today for our Wednesday, May 6th Career Success class, our Q&A session for students that are in the Key Success Factors for Graduate program or are thinking about the program. So thanks very much for joining me here today. Just a very quick little bit of housekeeping here. There are replays done every week of these sessions. You're welcome to go on to our website and get copies of these replays. I'm interested in getting emails directly from you anytime as well. So feel free to send me an email at any time to deborah@ebizcoach.ca. Looking forward to getting to know you. So for today's session, for a little bit of content, while we're getting some of the different questions and answers coming in on the chat box, what am I good at is one of the things that I know is first and foremost on a lot of students' mind, and trying to figure out what's the best career path for me. So in this very brief little session that we're going to have today, I'm going to help you think a little bit more about what are my most successful qualities and my key strengths. So let's go ahead and get started with that now. So what am I good at? It's a question a lot of people will ask themselves at one time or another. It's, what am I good at? And choosing a best career path when you have the whole world in front of you is not an easy decision to make. So, but thankfully, with a little bit of guidance, most people learn the answer to this question. And you learn that it's a lot closer to you than what you realize. So the answer to that question is a lot closer to you than you realize. One thing that I do want you to know is that you are the only person who can use your potential. So it's really important that you discover what it is that you're good at. So let's get started. From an employer's perspective, what makes you marketable? Well, it's your overall attitude that makes up what makes you so marketable. So that's your personality, that's your qualities, your characteristics. It's what makes you different from other people that are in the marketplace, the other competition that's out there. And all the top employers know that finding somebody with the right attitude and the right fit for their organization is what's the most important thing when hiring. They bring somebody in with the right attitude, we can teach them the rest, right? So employers want people who can find solutions. They want people who are progressive thinking. They want people who are resourceful and can be solutions oriented, that can find solutions when you have questions. So you're at the right place. There are 4 exercises that I'm just going to run you through quickly, and then you can take the time to complete them on your own. They are part of Key Success Factor 1 in our Discover 7 Key Success Factors for Graduates program. And this is very much a foundation. Key Success Factor 1 is all about your success mindset and the foundation of moving forward in your career search. So you're going to discover your top 3 qualities and characteristics and your key strengths. And once you're armed with that information, you can start to understand what you're good at, and choosing a career path that is authentic to who you are will become much easier. So here are the 4 foundation exercises to help you answer the question, what am I good at? The first 3 are related to your personal success chart, which again is part of Key Success Factor 1 in our playlists. The first exercise is going to have you thinking about past successes and achievement. The second is going to be an exercise related to your personal definition of success. The third is the most successful and least successful experiences that you've had in your life to date. And then I'm going to walk you through an experience strength chart. And at the end of this exercise, you'll come up with your top 3 key strengths. So here's the first exercise, my personal success chart. So think of all the past successes that you've had in your life. And these don't have to be earth-shattering successes, but it can be anything that stands out in your mind as an achievement from your past. And I want you to list as many of these things in each age group that you can remember. If you need more space, of course, use a separate piece of paper. And now, if you're at the very beginning of this self-discovery time and transitioning from graduation from school into the workforce, now's a really good time to start some type of a workbook or a binder that you can be adding pages to, because there's going to be a lot of templates and exercises that I give you as we go through this training. So start up a binder and keep track, and you'll be really, really impressed with the blueprint that lays out for you by the time you're through all of this training. So in the first column, you're going to write down the age group between the ages of 5 and 15. So that's the first time frame or age group that I want you to think about. Between the ages of 5 and 15, what were some of the successes that you remember? What are some of the achievements or many fond memories that you have from that time frame between 5 and 15 are to be considered successes? So what are some of those fond memories and achievements that you can think of in that time period? And then beside those, I want you to write down, what was it about that event or experience or achievement or success that made you feel it was a success? What was it about that event that made you feel it was a success? And then I want you to repeat that same exercise between the age of 16 and 21, and then between the ages of 22 and 29. So if you're watching this in replay mode, you can actually pause the video. For those of you that are doing it live with me now, we're going to continue on. And I hope that you're taking some good notes so that you can complete that when we're done. But if you're doing this from the replay, you can pause it now and complete that chart before you go on. The second exercise is for part of your personal success chart. It's important to recognize the strengths in both yourself and in others. But before we go on and talk about the strengths, the second part of the exercise is to have you write out your definition of success. So without going too much farther into any of the success mindset training, at this particular point in time, what would you describe as your definition of success? And if you have trouble with this, and lots of people do have trouble defining what that would be, you can also think of who's someone that you would consider to be the most successful person you know. And you can write down, what is it about that person that makes you feel he or she is so successful? That might help you to come up with your success statement. So again, if you're watching this in replay, you can pause now and you can write out your personal definition of success. The third exercise is your list of your most successful lifetime experience and your least successful lifetime experience. Don't worry about what we're going to do with this information yet, but I just want you to think of those two instances. In your lifetime today, what would you consider to be your most successful lifetime experience? Go ahead and write that down. And what would you consider to be your least successful lifetime experience? And go ahead and write that down. Now, the purpose of the personal success chart and exercise that we've completed is really twofold. First is to have you recognize that you have had past successes and to give you, proper amount of time and the pat in the back that you deserve for those successes. And the second purpose of this exercise is to help you determine some of the common qualities or characteristics that each of these successes is based upon. For example, was it always acceptance or was it power? Are there some words, some characteristics or qualities that are coming through in those reasons why you considered these events or achievements to be a success? So what were some of the commonalities? Was it recognition? Was it independence? Was it academic or achievement? Was it monetary achievement? Was it need to expand horizons? Was it need for family acceptance? So just try and look at what those experiences were, what your success statement said, your most successful and your least successful experiences, and see if you can figure out some commonalities in qualities or characteristics that made you feel that they were successes. And I want you to write down your top 3 successful qualities or characteristics. It's a really good foundation place for you to start. And I want you to be aware that these qualities and characteristics, when they're within you, that's the recipe that makes you feel successful, right? So what are some of those successful qualities or characteristics, and write down those top three. The next exercise is an experience and strengths chart, and I absolutely love this exercise. All of us have had experiences that stand out in our minds, and they could be anything. It could be nothing that you've ever discussed with anyone else, but for some reason they've marked your memory, either in childhood or recent past. And for whatever reason, they're a part of your memory, and that makes them important. So you don't need to share this information with anyone else. I want you to be as open and honest with yourself as absolutely possible. This experience and strengths chart. So on one side of the page, you've got your experiences. On the other side of the page, you're going to have your list of strengths. And I want you to write out both good and bad memories. Don't limit yourself. I want you to think of as many different experiences as you can think of. And then once you've written out the experience, in the second column, you're going to write out the strength that you've gained because of that particular experience. So what happens in this particular exercise, even if the experience was negative, there's some strength, there's some reason that you're better today for having had that experience, or some strength that you gained that you're able to endure by going through that experience. And once you're able to identify the strength that you are and why you're a better person today because of that experience, then when that memory comes up, you don't remember the bad stuff, you remember the good. You remember the strength that you gained from that experience. So this is a very worthwhile exercise, and I encourage you to spend some time to go through and think of as many different experiences as you can. And again, both good or bad experiences. I've got a couple of examples I can share with you of my own. I started working when I was only 12 years old. I was part-time, and one of the reasons I was working, I remember, was to be able to buy my own jeans because they were expensive at the time, and I didn't want my parents to have the burden of that cost. But also, I wanted to buy my own roller skates. So the strength that I gained was the ability to handle money at a very early age and to accept responsibility to buy things that I wanted. Another experience was in grade 5. I was ridiculed because I had crooked teeth, and I hated school. I didn't want to go. I remember sitting and crying at the kitchen table in the morning at breakfast saying I didn't want to go to school. The strength that I gained from that was the ability to stand up for myself, to prove that you can live through bad times and that good times are right around the corner. And lastly, by the time I got to high school, I ended up being a vice president of the Students' Council and then prom queen in my grade 12 year at high school. And the strength that I gained from that experience, or those experiences, was accepting the help of other people. Someone else believed in me, and I was willing to take a chance. In the end, lots of skills were developed by standing up in public and speaking in front of groups and being accepted by other people. So there was a lot of leadership and accepting responsibility in those roles. So go ahead, it's your turn now to go ahead and divide the page in two. On one side, list your experiences, on the other side, your strengths. And then at the end, you've got a really good summary of what am I good at? Here's my top 3 qualities and characteristics, and here's my top 3 key strengths. And so there you have it. You've had good and bad experiences, and that's given the opportunity for you to get some strengths that are the strengths that make you who you are today. You've acknowledged some of your earliest memories of success in your life. You've acknowledged your most and your least successful memories. And through all these exercises, you can now see some common characteristics and qualities that you have. And these are the pieces that make you so marketable. These are the pieces that make you unique and what employers are looking for. So I think it's important that you don't leave life for chance. I want you to go out there and continue exploring and planning and achieving. And that's what the Key Success Factors for Graduates program will help you do. And once you're prepared and once you've got a plan of action, the luckier you'll be in life. I'm happy to help you with that. So let me just go and see if we have any questions at this particular time. I'm happy to answer those for you now.